Why are there pistachios on my search bar in Windows? The fuck? I'm clicking them. It's pistachio day.
Oh. See, I thought there were actual like physical pistachios like stuck to your computer screen for like a split second there.
Oh, that's where I keep my pistachios as a
Very con-
snack for later.
Very convenient spot.
Welcome to the Laser Comb podcast. I live again.
Oh.
Welcome to the Laser Comb podcast. I already forgot what episode this is.
This is episode 81 of the Lazor podcast. That is KAL, one of your hosts, and I am Christopher Siege, the other one of your hosts.
That's right. And we were breaking free of our nightly stone
Our,
skin.
our daily stone skin.
Our daily stone skin. That's right.
I wish I could do that during the sunlight hours, honestly.
And then wake up and be fully healed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be immortal.
Yeah.
Be a gargoyle. Man, so we're covering gargoyles.
Yeah.
Of Gargoyles fame. Forgot how hype the intro is. And not just like how hype the intro is, like how fucking wild the premise is. Just
especially
like having
for Disney.
Yeah, having been away from it for so long and to come back, I'm like, this is wild, man. This is fucking, the premise of it is wild. I cannot believe this was a thing, of which I am glad it is.
So this week on the Lazor podcast, we are reviewing one of KAL's picks. He decided to pick the classic 1994 to 1997 Disney animated program Gargoyles. Now, usually after I say the name of a show, I will insert the intro, just for funsies. Well, you know who doesn't like funsies? Disney's copyright cops on YouTube. I'm sure if I even put a single frame of that cartoon in the video version of this, then, Disney's SWAT team would come, like, kicking my door in and probably turn me into a gargoyle.
Giving you exactly what you want.
Giving me exactly what I want.
Which is why we're inserting the intro right here. No.
But not giving the people what they want, which is what we're here for.
That's true. We're here for the people, damn it.
So we put, as always, we put gargoyles through the old random number generator, and, well, after a couple of tries, we landed on episode 37, Shadows of the Past.
We're not landing on a 5-part episode. Like,
well,
I think originally we landed on like a 5-parter or a 3-parter or something.
Well, originally we landed on episode 36, which was part 3 of 3. And then so I'm like, no, we're not.
We just did that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again. So I decided to re-roll, and when I re-rolled, we landed on 37. The very next episode.
That's right. And if you're a fan of gargoyles and you've watched 37 of them in a row, then we're in for a treat.
Also, you might have a much better idea than I did of what exactly is going on in this show.
No! I watched the shit out of this as a kid, and let me tell you, no idea what the fuck is happening in this episode.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening in this episode. Goliath, the leader of the gargoyle team,
who's usually quite cool and powerful and honorable,
is straight up going through paranoid schizophrenia in a cave.
Yeah, he took something that was laced with something else, and he's fucking tripping balls in this cave. But he knows that he's tripping balls at a certain point.
Eventually, he figures it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, people who are dealing with psychosis, like you can convince them that what they're going through is not real. And indeed,
Mhm.
um, Goliath figures it out eventually. So, Cal, this was your pick. What is Gargoyles?
1,000 years ago today,
Today?
gargoyles. Today,
Today, as in when
gargoyles.
we're recording, or today
Right?
as when someone is listening to this?
Yes. 1,000 years ago today, gargoyles were made to defend mankind, but um, they were betrayed
Oh,
by the humans that they had sworn to protect.
those sons of bitches.
And as a result, they were frozen in stone by a magical spell for 1,000 years.
And put on top of a big old castle.
Big old castle. And in the future, castles are called skyscrapers.
Well, I remember, from what I remember watching this show, I wasn't allowed to watch this show as a kid, but I would watch it at other people's houses.
You're goddamn right.
What I remember was the villain of the show, whose name I think was Xanatos,
See, sounds about right.
because you don't forget a name like Xanatos. But I remember he was
He's
voiced
a wizard.
by Jonathan Frakes. He's like a modern like businessman, but he had this like ancient castle airlifted from England and placed on top of his skyscraper.
Fucking billionaires, man.
Which I think is what breaks the spell. Now,
Right,
as a
because they needed to be a certain height. Uh, I can't remember the exact details of it.
now as a kid, I'm like, hell yeah, this is like totally believable. That castle would fall apart.
How dare you?
Also, can you imagine just airlifting a castle across the Atlantic Ocean?
Isn't it just one turret of a castle?
It's the
Like,
top of the castle.
okay.
I think it's
How many
like
helicopters would that?
I think it's the top of like one wing of the castle.
Okay. Now they would need like 1,000 helicopters, but they could do it.
We're gonna get people like telling us how wrong we both are.
Hey, I'm not cheating. I didn't look at the Wikipedia for gargoyles before watching or before recording this. I'm going off my childhood memory of it.
That's
Well,
right.
actually, it would only need 12 Cherokee helicopters to airlift the carapace of this part of the castle.
But how many trains?
Oh, shit. Maybe just one really big train, one really strong train.
Perhaps an Astro train.
Oh, yeah. Astro Train could do it.
I think he could do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has that Transformers Generation 1 ability to shift his mass too. So
Yeah. When he's in robot form, he's the size of everyone else. But when he's a shuttle, he's big enough to fit all the other
to
Transformers in him.
fit like dozens of Decepticons who are each like 25 feet tall.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's like 20 feet tall. We don't ask questions. He's really light. Really light. Maybe he has the same mass. He just gets. Well, no, they don't, because when Soundwave transforms into a boombox, anyone can pick him up.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
Like how Megatron just becomes a gun big enough for Starscream to shoot.
Yeah, not a gun the size so that a human could hold him.
Don't know. That's crazy. A gun big enough for another Transformer to shoot.
Yeah, those like 12-foot wide by like 6 foot tall like handguns that you see
And
lying
Lugers.
around.
Yes. Those 12-foot long, like purple Lugers. German made 12-foot long hand cannons. They don't make them like they used to.
No.
And indeed, they don't make gargoyles like they used to.
No, Disney does not make shows like this anymore.
No. There's so many things. You could just put a Disney like no checklist or make it a drinking game. Every time you see something that like Disney would absolutely not put in the show, you like drink. And you'd be pretty wasted by the end of any episode.
There's an era known as the Disney Renaissance. It's been called
Yeah,
that by like film historians and like film critics and whatnot. Guess what era that was?
around this time.
Yep, it was kicked off by the Little Mermaid, and
Yeah,
the Disney Renaissance, I think, officially is considered to have ended with Tarzan.
that makes sense. That around then is when things started teetering
So from
off.
about
Yeah,
1989 to 1998 is the era that's considered the Disney Renaissance.
yeah, yeah,
And indeed, Disney was making stuff like this, which
yeah. It's wild. Like the fact that they even give the villains like knives and like tie women up is wild. Let alone some of the other shit that they do in the show.
so this episode, Shadows of the Past, originally aired on November 23rd, 1995, and it opens in the past, I guess. I guess somehow Goliath and cop lady Elisa, I think is her name, have somehow gone back to medieval times. Maybe.
Yes, or it's a so there's a flashback at the beginning,
Right.
and then it goes away from the flashback and actually shows the present of when they
Oh,
went to visit
right, right.
Ireland or the UK or wherever they are. But that little beginning of the Flash is
They're
what
in
happened
Avalon.
to.
They're in
Oh,
Avalon.
sorry, right, Avalon. Um, and in the background, we see gargoyles and some night be like, Elisa, I thought you understood, lass, with like the worst fucking Scottish accent ever, but in like the best way possible.
Yes, I don't know why I at first thought that they had gone back in time, but now that I think about it, it's like no, they have they've gone to Avalon to where the old castle used to be in the present.
And but maybe there's some time travel because there's a knight there. And
So they're like sailing toward the island on a long ship, and I'm just picturing the Immigrant Song by by Led Zeppelin playing.
right?
Maybe I won't put that version of the song at the end of this episode, but I will put a cover version that I really like.
Nice,
Maybe.
nice. And they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to get back home to New York and eat that pizza." Um, and Scotsman yells at her, "No, the boat, the magic boat they are on, doesn't take you to where you want to go. It takes you to where you need to be." I'm like, "Okay, got it. Good setup. I understand."
When they get to this island, there's a storm going on, and Angela, I think is her name, the yeah Angela, the girl Goyle, if you will.
And she's not the usual girl Goyle. She is other girl Goyle. She's not the one in the red loincloth.
Right,
She's different girl Goyle on this quest. I
right.
just want to say I think it's really cool how the little clasps on their like little devil wings, they clasp over their shoulders
To look like cape, to look
to
like
look like
capes.
a cape, like when they're not flying.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. That's
Especially since they all have like very like 90s like flowing like long hair and everything.
that's fucking cool. And they all wear like loincloths. Like they all wear like just like they're barely clothed, right?
Mm.
There's another time to drink, right? You see what the people are wearing in this. They don't can't get away with that now, right? Showing that much side torso. And so we got Angela, we got Goliath, we got Red Jacket Lady and their faithful gargoyle dog on this boat.
Bronx is the
Right,
name of the
Bronx.
dog.
Um no relation to the Bronx in New York.
Well, if you remember, all of the original gargoyles, Goliath had a name, but the rest of them didn't. And so they just took on names of the five boroughs in New York.
Right. How could right? Yeah. Because as soon as I said that, I was like, wait, Bronx, right? And they were all named.
Hudson was another one.
Yeah.
And then we have Angela.
And how can we forget Coney, my favorite, my my favorite.
And then we have the New York district of Angela.
We have the New York district of Angela. My cousin's from Angela. Terrible place. Great pizza though. So after the storm on the magic Viking boat, they wash up on the magic island.
Yeah, and Angela wants to stay there, but Goliath is like, no, the tide's going to come up. So we're going to have to go out and brave the storm.
Right. And they have kind of like a time limit because on the show, they turn to stone when the sun hits them.
Yeah. Which at the very end of the episode, they all like just assume the position as they're about to turn to stone.
If you're going to be turned to stone for like 8 hours, 10 hours, like, right, you might as well take a badass gargoyle position.
Yeah. And Elisa is standing there, and I'm like, so she's just going to, wait there for like the next 14 hours. And lo and behold, after they turn to stone, she just sits down.
And like leans against Goliath. Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's what she's gonna do.
You ain't going anywhere without them. So, is it like vampires? And when the daylight, when the sun rises, even if they're underground, do they turn to stone, or is it specifically when the sun hits them, or is that nebulous?
I don't know.
Because it always shows when the sunlight is hitting them turning back to stone. But I would assume if they're underground, even if they're not touched by the sunlight, once the sun comes up, it's like vampires and they still turn to stone. But because then they could just go inside or underground, right?
Yeah, just go into a basement or something with like blackout curtains,
right? Yeah. And just chill and go on the computer.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna play PlayStation for the next 14 hours.
Sounds like a pretty good gargoyle life.
But I mean, I guess the flip side to that though is they don't heal or rest if they don't turn to stone.
Oh, right, because they also rest and they still need to. Yeah. Why do you look so tired, Goliath? I've been playing Resident Evil 4 all day. The remake, of course.
I have actually been playing that lately. Been playing the Separate Ways
saw that
DLC.
Yeah. So what happens to ye old Angela and Goliath and
there is a shot.
Red Jacket.
Elisa is her name.
Right.
There's a shot at around 5:20 or so where there's an animation looping error, and it tripped me out when I first saw it, so I had to rewind. We see a shot of Angela walk up a hill, and then Elisa walk up a hill behind her, and then Angela walk up the hill behind Elisa again, and then Bronx is behind her. It was a weird animation looping error.
Oh yeah, just a little. Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice. And yeah, sure enough, they escape the storm. I mean, the gargoyles don't need to, but
don't they?
Do they care about the storm? Like, they're gargoyles. They have like they're super strong, but regardless, they get inside the cave, and she's like, "Hey, we made it." And Goliath drops some exposition. He's like, "Hey, the archmages made this like magic place to withstand the heresies of something."
Oh, and this was the place where he was hatched, where they would like forge gargoyles and like hatch them out of their
and
eggs.
Indeed, he leans down and he like finds an artifact.
Right. He starts
because the Vikings their enemies.
Yeah, the Vikings were the enemies.
Yeah.
He starts hallucinating pretty quickly, and
after he reads like some ancient tablet, like on a wall, he starts hallucinating.
Yeah, starts seeing the ghosts of these two Vikings, one of whom was a voice I recognized, so I had to look it up, and it is Clancy Brown, the Kurgan from Highlander himself.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Huh.
I was like, huh, I know that voice.
I thought I recognized it too.
Yeah. The
But
one.
yeah, they were like, what did you see?" Because he hallucinates and he starts seeing things, and they were like, "Goliath, what did you see?" And he's like, "Nothing. Don't worry about it." And they're like, kind of sussy.
Yeah.
You're being a sussy, Baka, Goliath. He's like, "No, shut up."
And I don't know if we necessarily need to go over it scene by scene, but there is a
Not
whole.
really, because a lot of it is kind of. Go ahead.
It's a lot of Goliath, like progressively more and more like falling victim to like straight up like psychosis, and like kind of going
um,
back batshit, thinking that Angela and Elisa are the two Vikings, and then trying to attack
and his
them.
guilt is trying to attack them, and then he realizes what he's doing, and he runs from them so he doesn't hurt uh Elisa and Angela.
It's an
He's like, "Get
entire
away from me, I don't want to hurt you."
it's an entire episode of just that playing out over and over again until we end up in some like deep like underground area with some weird like alien tech is what it looks
It
like to me.
kind of ancient archmage spell uh gazebo. there's ancient magic shit.
It looked more like alien tech than like magic to
I
me.
got Stargate vibes because as the runes, the writing on it
Yeah.
would turn on, there'd be like sci-fi sound effects like vroom, 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 vroom.
Pulsating like glowing light.
It's like Stargate tech, where it's kind
Yeah.
of like old, like ancient tech, but like high tech at the same time, like that. Yeah, I got those vibes too. And indeed, it's discovered that there's two glowing spirits that are the ones fucking with Goliath,
Yeah.
because they want him to be disoriented for what plan? Well, we'll find out, because they try to guilt trip him at the very end, and they make a mistake, because as they're manifesting golems, like stone or like rock or earthen golems, to be like murderer, betrayer of something in the past, they manifest who's the chick? Goyle, the girl Goyle.
The
Not
other one.
Angela, but it's on the tip of my tongue. What's your name, lady?
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Again, we watched this show. It's just been a thousand. It's been 84 years. Gargoyles
Goiling through the night.
goiling through the night. Gargoyles never running from a fight.
Oh, apparently Angela is Goliath's daughter.
Oh, cool. Right, right.
Her name is Demona.
Demona. She manifests too, and they're like, "Time to finish him off. Remember, we don't want him too weak. We need his life force." And I'm like, "Okay, weird green ghosts. Let's see where you're going with this." They manifest her, right? But he eventually goes, "Wait a second. Demona wasn't like hatched until like way after this. Like she wasn't here."
Oh no, it's not that she wasn't hatched, it's that she had fled before
No,
this.
that's what it was. She had fled long before this event. She wasn't part of like this battle. And he's like, "Okay, that's what I thought." And then he bolsters his willpower up and like starts using wrestling moves and fucking backbreakers, and he gives one of the shitty fake illusory gargoyles like a tombstone pile driver, and kicks their ass. And eventually the ghosts show themselves. Well, meanwhile, the whole episode, despite the fact that one of them has wings, they're rock climbing down a chasm. They've been conveniently removed from all of this scene because the two ghosts, the two Viking ghosts, want to use this artifact down here, the alien tech, if you will. Ancient alien astronaut theorists believe that ancient Vikings could come back to life if they switched places with the mortal remnants of a vampire. Could this be true?
Some ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and it may be the result of interference through extraterrestrial visitors.
The pagans had archmages. They could commune with the aliens. Can you tell that we've watched? So the magic ancient stones. You know how there's that like faceless narrator who always connects the two fucking experts that have something to say?
Yeah.
The ancient stones, have they always been there? Were they made by ancient pagans, or were they made by greater forces?
Have you ever seen newer Ancient Aliens? Like from within the
No.
past like couple of years?
No. Have you?
I have, yeah. One, they actually it's not just like old men on the show anymore. There's actually like women on the show and whatnot, and like younger people that they interview.
What?
And they actually the what's his name, like the big hair guy.
Oh, you're talking about Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah, he'll actually like go like on site with some of these experts to like check areas and like look for artifacts and things like that.
Apparently, he's actually a pretty like decent dude. And
Yeah.
like he doesn't like in his social media, he'll be like, hey, like these are all like thought experiments. Like he's not actually like an insane dude. Like he's he yeah, apparently he's like shows up at cons all the time. And for a while there, I was following him on Facebook because he was quite the advocate for a lot of like social like movements.
Yeah, I can
And a
see
lot
that.
of like a lot of like my ancient alien theorist host gone woke, unfollow, right? Because he'd like side with Black Lives Matter or like whatever, right? And so many people being like, oh, Giorgio gone woke.
Yeah, it's like it was always meant to just be fun.
Yeah, it was never meant to. And you could look at him, man. He made his hair bigger and bigger every season. Like nobody does that hair. And then like he barely had a straight face throughout that. But seeing him on location, like he actually seems like he's like into archaeology and into history.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like newer Ancient Aliens actually has him and like usually like one or two other experts like going to like a site and like looking for like artifacts and stuff. It's cool.
Ancient alien theorists believe that gargoyles used to come to life. All right, Giorgio Tsoukalos.
There's a bit where they're going down that like narrow area, which and Goliath is like completely tripping balls. And Elisa actually says, she's like, hey, he's not doing well. If he falls, can you catch him? And Angela makes a point of saying that they probably wouldn't be able to fly because the path is too narrow.
Yeah, I actually liked her quickly explaining that. Like, hey, they're not like all powerful like beings. Like they need to spread their wings out to fly.
Yeah.
And their wings are like 12 feet from like tip to tip, maybe like longer. Like there's no room there. And
I did find it funny when Goliath was inevitably falling though, and like Bronx goes and like catches him, and then Elisa like comes over and grabs like one of his arms.
I thought that was funny too, and I'm like, okay, sorry, human woman with skinny arms. That's an 800-pound gargoyle, right? And he's being held up by an 800-pound gargoyle dog. And maybe Angela could come over and like help pull him up. You're not doing shit, lady.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, but you ain't doing shit. Like this dog that's made out of muscle, right? That's like 5 times the size of a normal dog and presumably much heavier and magically stronger. Lady, you're not pulling Goliath up. And indeed, guess what? They don't pull him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ends up falling, and that's how they end up down in the
alien tech cavern.
The alien tech cavern.
But before the Stargate like powers up, or it does fully power up, it's revealed, haha, it was actually us, Ghost Vikings. It was us, Ghost Vikings. What a fuck. Okay, I just want to point out, everyone, this is a particularly fucking wacky and out of place episode. There's magic and gargoyles, but like not magic gargoyle like schizophrenia episodes, alien tech. Like this is the odd episode out. Oh, you just didn't you landed on one of the bad ones. This is you landed on one of the insane episodes.
Yeah.
This episode is I don't even know what they're trying to tell us, because the Viking ghosts come to life, and as they come to life, they start kicking the shit out of Goliath, like ramming into him.
But then when they like restore themselves to life, the other one, because it's explained, I think, at one point that they were rival clans of Vikings. They banded together to take on the Avalonians.
Yeah. But in listening to Goliath travel through the Cave of Dreams, one of them realizes that they weren't betrayed by the Avalonians, and that they were set up by the other Viking clan.
Yeah. So he turns on
the one that talks like this. As their flesh and blood, because one even says, yes, I can feel again. I can get an erection again. It's wonderful. The more Scottish one goes, not on my watch. I've been waiting for this day, you damn landlubber. Somehow I became a pirate there. And he tackles the other dude.
Is like, fine, I'll take your head too, MacLeod.
And there's conveniently lightning everywhere as this alien tech is still powering up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's going to blow up. Yes, by the way, it's going to blow up. So as they get tackled, they're fighting each other inside of the gazebo, the alien tech gazebo. And
it's a good description of it.
Goliath goes from ghostly, because he was going to be stuck in their stead there forever. Yeah. He goes physical again. And then, well, wouldn't you know it, the magical alien tech gazebo blows up.
Yeah. It blows up.
I actually can't tell you why. I just watched this, and I'm fast forwarding it through it, and
there was like
one of them even says like, "No, you fool! You've pushed us back into the energy field," or something.
The Kurgan Viking says, like, quite hilariously, as like the thing is exploding and like our heroes are flying away, he's like, no, what will I do without someone to hate?
Oh, okay, so the alien gazebo blows the fuck up just as Angela and Cool Jacket Lady and Gargoyle Dog show up, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck happened here? It seems like it's a long story. And he's like, 1,000-year-old story. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess. And then the ghost of the Scottish one, the non-Kurgan one, he's like, "Hi, laddie, you helped me. You helped me soul. Like, let go of the past. Thank you." And he dissipates and like a Jedi, and he goes to heaven. And then as they're all leaving, and he's like, "And I'll tell you this story as we exit the cave." On one of the magical alien tech panels, like you had said, banging against like the surface as if he's trapped in the stone slab. You can't leave me here. I can't live here for an eternity with no one to hate. And I guess the only thing that kept him sane was having that asshole with him. And well,
it's a terrible line.
Like, what? Doesn't say why I guess because their hate kept their souls there, and one of them was able to let it go and the other one wasn't. So, and yeah, that's his personal hell. He's trapped in the alien tech broken gazebo, never to manifest as a weird green blob that can make hallucinations for gargoyles again. Because it is revealed that like the two like little green glob ghosts were the Vikings, and they're the ones who've been fucking with
Yeah.
Goliath the whole time. They, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you know what? They as they leave the cave, the storm is gone. I guess they didn't need to go in the cave anyway. Um and as the storm's clearing, the sun's coming up, and they
Yep, they assume the position and turn to stone. They assume Hulkamania poses, turn to stone, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm just like, so what's Elisa gonna do while
just
they're
chill for 14 fucking hours.
while they turn to stone? And indeed, yeah, she just sits down and like leans up against Goliath. It's like, well, I guess this is my day.
Curse you, Goliath! Curse you!
I'll get you for this.
I don't know how, but and there he'll stay.
I was just reading Demona doesn't turn to stone. She's actually been just living as a gargoyle for the past 1,000 years.
Eh? Eh?
Yeah, she's Goliath's ex-mate and Angela's biological mother.
Ooh. Look at Demona. They wouldn't dress somebody like, I guess they could get away with it because like they're like not human.
Kinda. I feel like people would still take issue with it nowadays, though.
Right?
The 90s were a different time. And
yeah.
Holy crap, this show is very 90s.
She doesn't turn into stone at all, or she just wasn't under the 1,000-year curse.
Is no longer frozen in stone by daylight like the others, thanks to Puck's pre-gathering intervention. She has been continuously alive for a millennium because of a magical pact with Macbeth granted to them by the series version of the Three Witches.
Oh.
Giving both of them near irrevocable immortality.
Ooh.
So she's like peak level gargoyle.
Yeah, she's like
she's like the Blade of gargoyles.
I was just going to I was like trying to like, oh, how do I fit a Blade reference in here? She's like the Blade of gargoyles.
All of their strengths.
All of their
none of their weaknesses.
Demona in a fucking leather jacket, fucking sunglasses, just shows up to a rave.
There's something I found out about that song recently that kind of I was like, oh shit, music. Okay, what was it? Oh yeah, the song was done by hang on,
we're going in, folks. Don't try to stop us.
Played techno music. Oh yeah, it's yeah, that's what it is. Okay. It is a remix of a New Order song.
Yeah,
you know, Order, like how does it feel? Like that New Order? Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh, I had deep dived on that like years back when I was running my Vampire the Masquerade LARP.
Ooh.
And yeah, I had found that out. And I was like, oh shit. I mean, it makes sense. I just didn't know until I looked.
Yeah, it's just a 90s dance remix of that song.
Yeah.
You know, funny, I actually still have a handful of CDs, and one of them is the very best of New Order.
Hell yeah. That's a good CD to have.
It is, yeah. There's
a lot of fan art of gargoyles.
I bet there is.
Fan art. It's a lot of fan art of Demona. Let me tell you.
I bet. You know, she's voiced by Counselor Troy from Next Generation.
Oh. I mean, I can hear it now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and I mentioned too,
what an all-star cast,
that Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker, voices Xanatos.
That's right. Yeah, it's an all-star fucking voice cast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Keith David as Goliath. Xander Berkeley.
Xander Berkeley.
He's a character actor. I've seen him in a lot of things. Hudson was voiced by the late Ed Asner.
Oh,
He was a huge deal in his day.
yeah.
Yeah, all-star
What a
cast.
fucking
Oh,
all-star.
Michael Dorn, Commander Worf himself.
Yeah. Goddamn.
CCH Pounder, who was in ER and The Shield and a bunch of other things.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
here on Ye Old Lasercomb podcast, gonna ask good old Siege. We just caught a very random episode of 1994's Gargoyles. Would you tune in next week?
based on the strength of this episode, no. No, I would not. I would watch the show again, though, because I know I did like it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny that it was bound to happen to us. I don't think just on this one, nah. But too much is happening. Nothing of interest is like happening. It's very psychological. Little kid me wouldn't have been paying attention enough to like the episode. And you know what? 36-year-old me, who is paying attention to it, didn't like it.
39-year-old me was having trouble paying attention to it. I watched the episode twice.
I paid perfect attention to it. I understand it. I still don't. It's not great. And yeah, that's the name of the game. There's like 50 episodes we could have caught where I would have been like, fuck yeah. And that being said, this wasn't like completely bad. It was just it was all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird one to step into. Yeah. And well,
the batshit episode. The batshit, but also kind of boring episode.
But also kind of boring. Yeah. We made it way more interesting than it actually was.
Yeah.
As per usual.
As is our way.
And that was my pick. We finally did it. We watched Gargoyles.
All right. And that was episode 81 of the Lazorcomb podcast. Best way to support the show is go to patreon.com/lazorcomb, LAZORCOMB. We're starting at the $5 tier. You get to pick a show for us to review a random episode of on this very podcast. You get a bonus weekly Patreon exclusive podcast, the Super Lazorcomb Patreon Super Show, commentary tracks, and a whole bunch of other goodies. So if you want to get in on that, go to patreon.com/lazorcomb.
Sometimes it's longer than these episodes.
Sometimes, yeah. Today, it's definitely going to be. This week. If you want to interact with us, best way to do that is to join our Discord. Link in the description, as always. I have no other social media to plug.
Yeah, we used to plug the shit out of like everything, and like now it's just like I don't fucking care. Who's on Threads? Like Blue Sky is just like I don't know. I guess people are on Blue Sky.
Blue Sky is now open to the public, and there's still nothing going on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's open to the public. I remember like it was one of those things where it was like, oh, we need to get an invite. We need to get an invite. What the hell? I've been on a waiting list. And then we got in and we were like, hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Nothing's going on here.
Here's some invites. And everyone's just like, no, I'm good.
I'm like, no, I've got like 6 of them, guys. Hey, no? Oh, okay.
You sure?
Guess nothing's going on here. Oh, I'll go take a look at Twitter. Wow, somehow became 80% bots over the last 3, 4, 5 months, huh? Weird. Oh, what's going on? Oh, blue check mark, like Elon fans, like taking up all the ads are weird. And this isn't even a version of bad Twitter.
Most of my feed isn't even people I follow anymore.
Not even people like I follow, and it's just like there's no, you're losing me here. There's no reason for me to stick around here.
Yeah.
And so yeah. It's just I check my Facebook messages. I don't even go on Facebook really.
I still like Instagram and use that a lot, so I guess you can follow me there. I'm at Christopher Siege.
Yeah. I haven't posted in forever on Instagram, like actually, like probably like 6 years. But yeah, Discord's how you find us.
Yeah.
Like we actually respond, interact, post images,
We'll
play
be,
memes.
we'll be back next week with another Siege pick. Because, well, this is one that I'm amazed that we haven't gotten to yet at any point. It's a show that I know both me and Cal grew up with, and I'm sure almost all of you listening grew up with as well. I'm surprised none of you have pitched it. But it's being talked about a lot lately because on Disney Plus, there's a follow-up series that just had a trailer drop. And that follow-up series is going to be launching, I think, in a couple of weeks here. So
that's right, sooner than rather than later.
So on the next episode of the Laser Cone podcast, we're going to review a random episode of 1992's X-Men.
Hell yeah! And you know what? I didn't know what he was going to choose before the episode. He's like, "Ooh, I'm not going to tell you." How is it even possible that we
I've never covered
Weird.
it. Yeah, I know, right?
In the
Spider-Man.
dozens upon dozens of of episodes, no one's pitched it, and that's like right up Lasercomb's alley, right up there,
right up there,
right up the latex, tight, brightly colored X-Men alley.
That gives new meaning to the gloves are off.
The gloves are on now. Oh my!
All right, so
That'll be fun.
Yeah, let's figure out which episode we're gonna watch. Share screen. Where did the share screen button go? Oh, there we go. They keep moving it.
You.
And I realize that that just makes me sound like an old person. Oh, this technology keeps changing on me. They keep changing it on me.
They moved the buttons. Right?
Oh, all right.
Back in my day.
So, how many episodes does X-Men have?
There's a whole section with just the Spider-Man crossovers.
Oh yeah, fun fact. Yeah, there was 2 episodes where the characters from X-Men appeared on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. I actually have that on DVD. I found it in a bargain bin at Walmart like 10 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah. So 76 episodes in total. So random number generator time. 1 episode between 1 and 76, and here we go. 10.
Ooh.
A nice and early one. It's got to be a season 1 episode. Yep. Come the Apocalypse. Aired on February 27th, 1993. Almost to the day, 31 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Apocalypse and Mystique turn mutants who journeyed to Muir Island seeking the fictitious cure into the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Oh, I actually remember this episode.
I kind of remember this.
Sweet. Yeah.
This sounds like a cool one.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with that. And until then, I've been The Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm NeoCal, your other host.
Thanks for listening. We will stone you next week.
Or will we X you next week?
X gonna give it to you.
I hope so.
tides of war. We are your overlords. On we sweep with the rushing oar. Our only goal will be the western shore. So now you better stop and rebuild all your ruins, for peace and trust can win the day despite of all your losing.